Hello everyone, welcome. So as the title suggests, this video is an in-depth guide to Mike Morton Hullabaloo because I have a lot of people asking me in chat for tips on him whenever they see me type in there. So I thought it would be easier to just showcase what I mean in a guide instead of typing essays and IDV um, DMs because there's a word limit and like it's too hard to explain everything. As a disclaimer though, I am not a pro hunter in any means. Take this advice as like a general tips and tricks on a character I've been playing a lot since he came out. I've been an S batch for almost 2 months now. So like I just know a few things about him, not hunter gameplay in general. If you want tips on that, you can obviously watch top tier hunters like their streams and videos and stuff. This is just a guide on Hullabaloo specifically from my own like experience and playstyle. So if you guys do not vibe with whatever the fuck I'm saying, you can always ask the other S badge mic players, like the first mic and Batilud. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but they're very nice people, and I've talked with them before. So you can also ask them for like their own builds and their own tips and stuff. They will for sure answer. Like believe me on that. So yeah, without further ado, I will get into it, and I hope it's at least a bit helpful. Alright, so first I will start with my build. I generally really do recommend to take Insolence. I think it's the best trait on him. I will explain why later when we go through the abilities. I'm sure people have seen the Hullabaloos in co-op play with Trump instead of Detention. But I would say if you're not like really confident in your abilities, do not take Trump instead of Detention. Like, I know people say, oh, he's so OP that you can literally just take whatever and detention doesn't matter because you can just kill everyone before they even get to endgame. But yeah, as I've said, I played with Trump before, and personally, I do not like it. I feel like I'm way more confident in my abilities with detention. As for other traits, this is like personally what I like. But I'm sure the other mic players have other builds that they've been doing. This is what's been working for me. I like 2 points in pallet break, just because his pallet break is like, it's not that fast. Like it's really slow if you don't take this, which is fair, like obviously. But I feel like people pallet spam him a lot, so it's really helpful. I also take panic because I don't know, I just feel like it's a good trait. Like, I just like it. And exhibitionist. Now, for this one, it's not that important, I would say, but it's nice because, as I will explain when we go through the abilities, he has like a slight attack recovery. I mean, it's not a recovery. It says miss recovery, like when you miss an attack. So yeah, he slows down by 70%, and it's like with this trait, you can basically just ignore that debuff and continue on your merry way. So yeah, this is what I've been doing, but I also have this build, which I take sometimes. It has wanted order if you think that would work for you. Also nostalgic if you're blind like me, and rage for when they have like harassers and you don't want to take excitement or something like that. I think this build is like fine too. You can honestly just try everything you want out and see what works. So yeah. As for traits, I usually take peepers because again, I am blind as fuck and I enjoy seeing their positions, especially because it's important for the clone placement. We will go through that. But I also really recommend teleport. Oh, I also take peepers because I'm European and my ping is like bad usually. So, you know, the slowdown is helpful for me personally. But yeah, I really recommend teleport if you can take it if your ping is good and you're confident, because with this you can obviously like pressure ciphers much more easily, or like if you want to, you could take warp for that as well. After you place someone on a chair, you can just like warp to a cipher and go back after you do some damage and stuff. Like usually that's also a good strategy. I know some people use patroller, which is like not a bad trade on him. Like I wouldn't say it's bad, but I've played with it only in the beginning when he came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, patroller is so good on him," and like it's not bad because you end up on top of them like way more easily when they get bitten and stuff. But like a lot of people know how to cancel the bites, so I don't know. I feel like it could be a waste maybe. But yeah, you can take it if you want. And also excitement, like end of normal, situational, you can also take them. I don't think the traits on rank are like the most important thing, because you can just swap between like all of these and be okay. But yeah, it just ends up being like what works for you, and depending on their team comp and stuff like that. So yep. All right. So first, I will go through his abilities quickly, because you can also read them yourself. They're not that complicated, to be honest. So I will just like explain it briefly. So first, the most important thing, obviously, the stages. As you can see, there's like three different colors, and each of them does something different. I'm sure everyone knows about the red stage being able to like cancel abilities and flywheel and stuff like that. Recently, they nerfed it so that um, you can basically flywheel it now easily. I mean, more easily, because you're only affected by the debuff 0.3 seconds after you enter, and after you leave is like 0.5 seconds, I think. Do not make me explain how that works. I just know that like you can get harassed by forward now, because even if he enters it, like when he comes in, the seconds it takes for him to like get to you and like stun you, the red stage doesn't apply, so like you still get stunned and stuff like that. I don't know exactly. Okay, oh, I'm not like some kind of mathematic person, but yeah, just so you know that like generally. Okay. White is for volt speed. It decreases it by 15%, and also decoding 30%. Yeah. So if you put them in white, it also works for exit gates. So for example, if you want to like pressure a cipher, you can put the clone with white on the cipher, and yeah, their decoding will be decreased by 30%, which is a lot. Like it is a lot. So for example, if like the cipher is getting close to being primed and stuff, you can delay it that way as well. Or like if you're literally on top of the cipher and you put them in white, yeah. The vaulting speed is also really important. As for black, it decreases movement speed by 15%. So that's pretty simple, right? I think if you're like an acrobat player, you should know like some of these, because it's like basically the same basis. Okay, now for another like simple trait to explain, the rotate. So as you can see, you can rotate your stage. It has, let me see. Okay, so like it rotates 120 degrees clockwise, and the cooldown is 18 seconds. So technically, you want to like save it. You don't want to like rush with it, or like I don't know, use it if you don't think it's gonna hit, because like 18 seconds is quite a long time. About the rotate, you can do it 2 times if you do it like within 1 second. So 1 and 2. Basically, you can do it like this. So for example, if you have someone here, you attack them with red, you attack them with white, and then boom boom, black. And like you can take them by surprise, because as you can see, like it rolls really fast, but if you attack it at the right time, even if like the survivor is literally right here, but it rotated and the stage ends up being here, if you attacked while it was rotating and it it was like on them, like that, then it also like hits. So you like, for example, if the survivor is trying to dodge and they know you're gonna rotate, you can use it 2 times if that was like the stage you wanted, and like literally just bam, hit it when it's there. Yeah. Okay, now I feel like this is the most important ability, the clone. So you can place a clone down. It will mirror you. Um, Also very important, the clone will point towards a survivor. So when you put it down, the survivor, let's say, is facing towards me. The clone, when you put it, it will face towards you, like in a mirrored state. So, for example, if you wanted to attack them with black, it would attack them literally there. But as you can see, the clone, like when you attack afterwards and it's still on the ground, it points towards where you attack. So, for example, if you want to hit like a specific color, but they're like not moving towards it, or like, for example, the survivor is okay, like this fucking red box, um, and if you attack forward, it will attack like with white, for example. But for example, you can just do this on the side, like when you're moving, like bam, and it will attack with like that color. I don't know if I'm explained this well, but like, yes, it will point towards the survivor the first time, but if you want to like make use of the clone and do it 2 times, you have to like aim towards the certain color that you want to put them in, and like you know they're gonna go towards. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Also about the clone, you can like place it again. You can do it 2 times. So like, if you put it down and then you can just put it again, and then it resets cooldown, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. Also, like it lasts for up to 10 seconds, but for example, you could cancel it early to like get it faster back. Like, do not leave it on the ground if you remember. I don't know, I don't really remember the thing, like, when I'm playing the game and I'm like stressed. But normally, yeah, you want to cancel it so that it like comes back faster. I don't know why I was always under the assumption that the clone has a longer cooldown because that's what it feels like. But yeah. Okay, so now the jumps, what everyone fears. This is what insolence is really important for, because when you start the game, you do not have jumps. So with insolence, you basically make sure that you get the jumps really early, which is like really important because this ability, you can jump over almost everything. Like I'm talking, you can jump over this. You can jump over this fucking river. You can jump, I don't know, like walls, pallets. You can jump literally like anything that has space in between. I'm pretty sure they patched some spots, but like whatever feels normal to you, you can jump over, like stuff like this, and it's really fun when you try it. So for example, like yeah, you can't jump over stuff like this. Um, but wait, yeah, you can't jump over this either. I don't think so. But I'm pretty sure like at the beginning when he came out, you could jump over a lot more stuff. So yeah, the overall cooldown for the jumps, it's 19 seconds for all three of them. So if you want to divide it, it's like 6.3 seconds for one jump, which means that you have to be patient with them. Okay, so don't waste your jumps because you will get cooked. Believe me, like a lot of people want you to waste them. So yeah, please don't do that. Also, as you can see, like it points towards the survivor. You can also use the clone to find them out. Um, it points towards the nearest one, I am pretty sure. So like if I place it there, it goes towards perfumer. So like you see, I can put her in that. And then if it was like if she was walking and came back towards this way, she would be put in red. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. Also, his full press. So, if you're full press, and you got a hit, like you put all three bombs on them. Um, After that, they're going to take like the first, or I think no, like the most recent bomb you put on them. Um, they're gonna have one already, so you only need like two more. So like she would have white, I guess. Let's just say that, and then you only put black and like red, and they would go down. So, yeah, that's all the abilities. I hope it was understandable. All right. So another thing. Let's say where was this perfumer? Okay, so let's say the survivor is perfumer. What you want to do if you're chasing her first, or if you're just chasing her usually, or if she comes to rescue. First, put black, white, and then red. Why? Because she is going to try to use perfume. That is for sure. But if you hit those two first, she obviously will want to perfume the last hit. But since you're putting her in red, it's not going to work and it's a guaranteed hit. This applies to like most survivors, obviously, who have annoying abilities that like would take away the hit, or like I don't know, you're gonna get stunned. Like if you're an enchantress stun at the last second, and obviously that would be bad. You just like put those two first always. Like just try to do this always, because it's really valuable, and red is like such an OP thing, honestly. And yeah, you basically make it so their skills are useless, and is guaranteed to hit. Okay, so now as for some tips I have, I think the most important one I tell everyone first when they ask me is to be patient and careful with your clones. If you don't have line of sight, you don't see the survivor, but you know they're like behind the wall, um, and you're not confident with guessing their position, it's just better to wait for like line of sight, um, to put like a color on them, because you only have two tries on a 12 CD, 12-second CD. So especially at the beginning of the game, you really want to make sure that you put two colors on them if you're able. Um, because yeah, you won't have this ability for like quite a long time, and people can get to like better kiting areas. And um, as I said at the beginning of the game, you do not have your jumps, and if you don't take pallet break, they could just loop pallets like over and over, or windows. So yeah, it would be like a longer kite, I think. So yeah, you want to like really practice your clones and make sure that you hit them, especially at the beginning when you're not full pres and all stuff like that. Okay, so for another clone tip, let me get to a window here. Okay, so for example, let's say that a survivor is trying to loop you around the window, even if you had if you have jumps. Um, let's say like you already use them and you're on CD. Uh, they're going to try to like loop you here. You put the clone on the other side. You obviously like get a hit towards like the window, the survivor, and obviously you can just try again, put another color. You basically force them to either like vault into you or transition. But okay, let's say you already put a color on them, right? And you put the clone like this. Let's say you put white, right? You put it there, they vault, you get double color terror shock. This is like a very basic tip, I think. But for like a more advanced version of it, um, so like, okay, you put them like this. Uh, they like go towards that way. You hit white, and let's say like you already have black on them. The moment they go through, you can do this 2 times and hit towards the window. So like the color you had before, you can like surprise them with a terror shock. So like you put that and like boom, like you make them explode in the window. Usually people don't really expect that. Um, this also goes with the jumps. Like if you want to surprise people, if like your last color is black and they jump through a window, but like they they try to predict the jump because that's what people like usually do. So like you jump and insta hit in the window, and they get terror shocked. So yeah, like you want to do those kind of like things where the last color is like the one you're gonna jump to, and like make sure to instantly hit it so that like you get the terror shock and stuff. Yeah. Also, this kind of thing is like usually easier. For example, like if they keep moving around here, if you have peepers, you just put it down. Like obviously you can see their position and try to get the clone hit 1 time maybe. Like you put them in white and stuff, you put them in black, and then boom, you do that kind of stuff. So yeah, as I was saying, like people will usually try to bait your jumps. I would say to like try to mind game them a lot because a 6.3%, what percent? Oh my god, second, second cooldown is quite a bit. If you're like pressed for time, like if they have Cypher primed or whatever, you need like one more hit, and you're getting impatient. Let's say that. And yeah, they're gonna like jump back and forth because they know that like you're gonna try to hit them with the jumps and stuff like that. Obviously, if you're on bad ping, it's not going to work, but like every hunter on bad ping is bad. Especially for Mike though, I feel like as someone who plays on like 150 ping usually, um, it can like get really hard to hit people because obviously they're gonna be faster than you, and like his hitbox is so janky on that ping, like nothing hits. I am telling you, like nothing hits, especially the clones. But like yeah, as I'm saying, um, especially if you're on bad ping, do be patient with your hits, with your jumps and stuff because they're precious. Okay. Okay. The next thing is about rescues. So I cheered someone here, right? And what you want to do, obviously, as like any hunter, you want to like scout them out early, see what ciphers are moving, what cipher stopped moving, where the rescuer is coming from, like you know where they spawn, like what cipher they're doing and stuff like that. You obviously want to cut them off early, but it's even more important for Mike, I feel, because you really want that double down, and you can usually get a double down, unless the rescuer is a first officer or gravekeeper. Those are like the only rescuers who, or like even Matthias, but it can be a little more tricky on him. It really depends how you use your puppet, I think. But first officer is usually like a guaranteed no double down rescue. If you really like get that pocket watch working. And gravekeeper like obviously he goes in the ground and stuff like that, and it's like really hard to hit him with the stages and stuff. Um, so yeah, you want to scout them out early, and you want to start like getting the hits in. Obviously, I would say don't use your clone here. Like try to get a hit, um, before they get closer to the chair, because then they're gonna start running towards the chair, and for like a guaranteed way to either get a terror shock or a down like before they even get the rescue off, you put the clone literally on the chair and you hit them there, and it's double color and they're dead. Like especially if you're full press, this is like the most OP thing you can do to stop a rescue. You just put the clone on the chair and they can do nothing about it because they're gonna try to instantly go for the rescue, and usually like they're guaranteed to get hit by like 2 colors. And even if they get the rescue off, because you applied so many colors, you literally just like do one more hit and it's a double down, guaranteed. Because after that, like the survivor who gets off the chair will usually like get hit by the clones too. Um, if you got like the rescuer down, they're just gonna get hit by these two double colors, and then you just like put one more color here. Let's say like you go and like put white them, and they're dead. So yeah, I think obviously people really need to be closer to the chair when someone gets downed, so that they avoid the double down. But I think for most characters, it's really hard to get it off, to like put it off. I think that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I know I could cover jump spots, but I think there must be. Oh, that's great. Um, there must be some kind of video out there showcasing where you can jump at like some crazy spots. You can also just go into customs and try them yourself. I'm sure you can find some like fun spots and like some that can be really OP. If you like remember them, like getting on top of like some stairs, or I think in Ever Sleeping, you can go between two buildings. There's like a specific spot, but I'm like too lazy to go into it, and I don't want this video to be too long. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a few tips that came to mind and things that come from my experience, and I hope it's at least a bit helpful to whoever wants to start maining Hullabaloo. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and that you will enjoy your hunter rank journey if you will go there. Okay, thank you for watching. Goodbye.